Global Genes asked us if we could kind of share answers to a couple questions. The first one being why the Rare Compassion Project is important to us and kind of how it's impacted our careers within medicine. And the Rare Compassion Project is easily one of the highlights of my medical school training. Um, it started, as I mentioned, just kind of off of our own friendship and conversations, and really kind of started off of this random dinner conversation and has spiraled into this amazing program. And we tried to really replicate that immersive experience of getting to know the rare disease world. I was a microbiologist before I came to medical school. I spent many, many years researching it. I kept doing it in medical school, figuring I'm going to be an ID doc. I don't really need to know about rare diseases. But as I got to know Colton and as I got to know his family, I really learned a lot more about the rare disease world and had my eyes kind of open to something I had not really appreciated because it has this misnomer of a name. Um, and then I went into residency, and the further and further I got into my training, the more I realized rare diseases is something that I really enjoy and I really want to be part of. Um, I remember in first year of residency interacting and having this patient with CPT type 2 deficiency. I got to know their story. I learned about their condition. I was definitely nerding out, and I was trying to share it with everybody else in the team. And it became pretty apparent pretty quickly. This is something that's got to be part of my career. And I gradually shifted from ID into endocrinology, and now I'm doing a fellowship where I'm trying to find a way to improve the care of rare conditions within endocrinology and really take that as a focus within my career and my training. So it's definitely had a big impact just because of this awesome opportunity to get to know Colton's family.
So as I already kind of alluded to, I have, a personal connection. So I have two younger brothers who have a rare genetic disease called ataxia or AT for short. And, it's a neurologic disease. Doesn't have a cure, it doesn't have any treatment. And any doctor you meet, well, even neurologists often don't have a clue what it is. And that's understandable, right? So I feel like I'm pretty aware of the rare disease experience. And, despite this background, in medical school, I myself had a rare disease, experience. So I met a family that had what's called xeroderma pigmentosum, or XP. It's a genetic disease, and it causes severe sensitivity to UV light, so that you have to actually avoid it. And there's actually a camp that is not too far from our medical school called Camp Sundown. And I got to go, and it was a really eye-opening experience. That the camp happens at night to avoid the UV light, and everyone was amazing. I, the guy who seems to know everything about rare diseases, or should, learned a ton. And I think we precede this program, but the program itself is meant to do this same kind of thing, right? So we want to foster that kind of personal connection, and to see the lived experience that these patients are facing, that people drag through really unfair experiences, and that few on the outside can really understand. When I go into a room, in an emergency room, and there's a family with a rare disease, you might see the mother pulling out the papers with all the medications and the complex clinical history, and a team of physicians that have been involved in the past, and you can see their faces. They're nervous that this doctor who's coming in doesn't have a clue, and how are they going to treat us, and what's going to go on from here. And so I may not know anything about this disease, but having that background, I think, has informed me and made me a better clinician as a result. And so it's my hope that students who are able to form these connections with the families that are gathered in this program too, will learn a lot and become better physicians as a result, regardless of what kind of specialty they go into. I know the families are very excited, and I hope the students are excited, and there's a lot to be fun to be had, and a lot of learning. So we're excited you guys are joining.